What's going on YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about Batman issue number 132. This one is written by Chip Zdarsky, who also writes the backup storyline focused on Tim Drake, a little bit of his relationship with Bernard, and his quest to find Batman after Failsafe shot him with his gun that was from Toyman. So there's Failsafe linked to this, there's Toyman, but basically after Batman was shot with that gun by Failsafe, he was sent to a different part of the multiverse. In this issue, we meet this version of Selina Kyle and a potential version of the Joker, who's not really the Joker in this thing. He's kind of this rich CEO, but it's this alternate Gotham. There's no Batman in here, and by the end of the issue, Batman's like, you know what, I'm going to try and be the Batman. These people need something to get them out of this fear. So it's a very tyrannical-esque city where everyone's loaded up with all this other stuff, and that it's kind of a crazy situation in the city at this point. But anyways, so Bruce is there. You have Red Mask. He runs into Selina Kyle. You have this version of Harvey Dent. You have his kind of sort of Robin-esque character who is there to kind of help him out, who doesn't really want to be in this world in general. Bruce decides he has to go in disguise and fit into rich high society. But then Selina Kyle comes up here, but it's not his Selina Kyle. She's a little bit different, but she sees through his BS, and all sorts of chaos ensues. There's a version of Punchline here. There's Killer Crocs in here. He basically fights all this stuff, and he comes to the conclusion that he has to become the Batman of this world to kind of save it a little bit, because he can't just go home without setting this place right, because that's just what he kind of has to do. And of course, you got your commentary over the whole social classes and all that other stuff. The rich have all these resources, the poor do not. A lot of standard stuff that we've seen before. We also explain what's going on with the whole ghostly skeleton Jim Gordon, who still has the mustache, mind you, and that everyone is they pump some sort of crane toxins through the air that makes people see stuff, but the only ones who don't see it are the people who are on all sorts of medication. So that's kind of a bizarre take, but yeah, it's an all right main story. The backup storyline, of course, is Tim Drake trying to figure out what's going on with Toyman. He works with Mr. Terrific and trying to track down the source of that gun to someplace in the multiverse. Tim is still dating Bernard, mind you, which I still had issues with the way that was set up, because he was fine dating Stephanie, and then they just broke him off panel, and then all of a sudden he's just into Bernard, who's a character who hasn't shown up in all these years. I just wish there was more of a build up to that if you're gonna do that. So I don't know. Seeing it now, I'm like, why do they have to break up him and Steph? I don't know. That's always kind of bugged me. And there was no real good reason for it. I mean, they were doing fine. And then all of a sudden it's nah, it's because DC doesn't know what to do with Tim Drake. But at least the way Zdarsky has been integrating Tim Drake into the story has been pretty decent for the most part. I guess it's better than what's going on in Tim's own solo book, which I'm just not going to pick up at all. I've kind of seen little pages here and there. I don't like the art style all that much. I'm just nah. So at least it's handled a lot better in here than it has been in some of the other stuff. But I don't know, that still just kind of bugged me how they just kind of broke him and Steph off panel, or broke them up off panel, mind you, so with no build up or lead up to it whatsoever. It just is you've been an iconic couple for 30 years, we'll just kind of throw that away. I don't know. Well, maybe they'll get back together. I don't know. At this point, probably not. DC doesn't really know what to do with Tim Drake, let's be honest, but at least Zdarsky's utilizing him better than most, so kudos to that. Artwork of the story is fine. It's not the strongest I've seen in this run. Nothing that totally stands out in this particular issue. I just thought this was kind of okay. There was nothing really in it that's really kind of gripped me, per se. I don't know, because a few issues ago, we had Batman falling from the moon. That was so outlandish and ridiculous, but it's so off the wall that I kind of admire it. Here it's just Batman's trapped in another thing in the multiverse via Toyman's gun and Failsafe, and it's an alternative world and all that stuff, which is kind of neat, I guess, but I don't know, it's just nothing all that exciting or that's really kind of gripping me in this story right now. I don't know if it's just me. I think maybe others may feel different, but I'm not really clicking with the story right now at the post Failsafe. Maybe it's been kind of all over the place. And the 1 minute we're over here, 1 minute Batman's falling from the moon, which was just so off the wall ridiculous. But like I said, I kind of respect the insanity of that one. This one, it's okay, we're in a little bit of an alternative Gotham. Maybe we can play around with things a little bit, like his relationship with Selina. So that's kind of neat, I suppose. The Tim backup, I like how it's Tim's being integrated into the story. And I think it's an interesting take on Toyman to see how it all kind of ties together there. Like, that one actually has me a little bit more intrigued than what's going on in the main story with Tim and Toyman and the world that he kind of ends up in after getting help from Mr. Terrific. But artwork's okay. Like, I mean, it's pretty decent for the most part. Nothing that's really fully standing out, except maybe like this cover here with Selina. I mean, she looks pretty great there, so I mean, that's a plus. But there's no actual Batman in this issue, mind you. Like, he's not in the bat suit at all, so that was kind of unique. Except on the cover, really. So, yeah. I don't know. I think it's all right. It's not really gripping me like I thought Chip Zdarsky would. Because, like, what was it, like last year he did that Red Hood storyline, or was that 2021? I'm drawing a blank right now. But he did that Red Hood storyline in Batman Urban Legends, and that was so good that I was just really expecting something of that level in his run. And maybe the first few issues were good, but like nothing to that level. Maybe I'm setting my expectations too high in this particular story. But I feel like I want to expect more from it, but it's just not getting to me the way I hoped. So yeah, I think the issue itself is okay. Nothing really wow or overly spectacular or anything like that. I thought it was just fine. So maybe you feel differently about it than me, but that's just kind of where I'm at with this one. This one left me just thinking it was okay. Nothing all that exciting or so outlandish, ridiculous that it at least leaves an impact. This one's kind of a forgettable issue, if I'm being honest. But yeah, we'll see where it all goes for here. We got Selina there. We got that Red Mask character, and there's some intrigue there, and then stuff with Tim and Toyman. So there's that. But yeah. All right, well, that's all I got to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. That's going to wrap it up for the DC comic reviews for this week. So I got other stuff coming up, but in terms of DC Comics, I'm all caught up for this week. So there's that. All right, as always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.